automatic fire sprinklers, piping support, hangers, and bracing.
Piping support is achieved by the use of hangers, horizontal restraint, and a combination of seismic bracing in the vertical and horizontal planes. Hangers are non-seismic components, and their function is to support the water-filled pipe in position against gravity loads. Restraints are a form of seismic component that give end-of-line lateral stability to branch and main lines. Restraint installed on branch lines is considered a lesser degree of restraining loads than bracing. Seismic braces are components that give feed and cross mains lateral and longitudinal stability against seismic forces. No additional restraints are required if branch lines are supported by rods less than or equal to 6 inches in length, measured between the top of the pipe and the point of attachment. Verify that all sprinkler piping hangers and bracing comply with the DSA approved documents. Verify all hanger materials comply with DSA approved documents. Nails are not to be used for fastening hangers. Ensure all beam clamps are provided with the restraining strap with the proper degree of overlap. Verify all dimensions are in compliance with the DSA approved documents. All hangers shall be of ferrous material. Drive screws shall be used only for hanger attachments installed in the horizontal position, such as in the side of a beam, and only for piping that is less than or equal to 2 inches in diameter.
Ensure that sprinkler piping is supported independently of the ceiling sheathing. Verify that there is at least one hanger for each section of the pipe. Verify spacing of hangers that is in accordance with the DSA approved plans. Note that where sprinklers are spaced less than 6 feet apart, hangers spaced 12 feet apart max shall be permitted. Starter pipe lengths less than 6 feet shall not require a hanger unless on the end line of a side feed system or where an intermediate cross main hanger has been omitted.
Verify the distance between a hanger and the center line of an upright sprinkler is according to the approved plans. Verify the unsupported horizontal length between the end sprinkler and the last hanger on the line. Verify hanger location for unsupported arm over to a sprinkler drop, a sprig up, and that all is according to the approved plans. The distance between the hanger and the center line of upright sprinklers shall be 3-inch minimum. This requirement comes from NFPA 13, Section 9.2.3.3. The unsupported horizontal length between the end sprinkler and the last hanger on the line shall be 36 inches maximum for a 1-inch pipe, 48 inches max for a 1 1/4 inch pipe, 60 inches max for 1 1/2 or larger diameter pipe. Check for additional hangers if the cumulative horizontal length of an unsupported arm over to a sprinkler drop or sprig exceeds 24 inches for steel pipes and 12 inches for copper pipe. Ensure retaining straps wrap around the beam flange a minimum of 1 inch. So for overhead piping, we want to verify that the hanger spacing is 15 foot max and that the seismic bracing is per the approved drawings. NFPA 13 permits a 40-foot maximum spacing laterally for braces, and for the longitudinal braces 80 feet max. However, the design engineer of the system may specify a spacing that is less than the 40 or 80 foot dimensions, so it's important to check the spacing on the drawings. The restraint system is going to consist of a rod or a cable system. So, here's a picture of a sprinkler system. Can we see anything that's wrong? Well, the supply main drop needs to have a straight connection. Notice how this is angled away from the wall. So that means that flexible coupling on that fitting may not be seated correctly, and it could cause undue stress upon the fitting. Need to ensure that at least one side of the building expansion joint is equipped with a flexible coupling within 24 inches. This can be achieved also by the use of listed flexible piping systems such as the one shown here. NFPA 13 section 9.3.2.3.1 notes that flexible coupling shall be installed within 24 inches of building expansion joints. Where listed flexible piping systems are used, it should not be bent beyond the radii set by the product manufacturer. Want to verify the listing of the couplings is according to the DSA approved drawings, and that the location of building seismic joints that require seismic separation assemblies are according to the drawings as well. Where flexible piping is substituted for rigid new hydraulic, counts are required. So, our listed couplings need to be provided on piping greater than or equal to 2.5 inches in diameter. For risers greater than 2.5 inches in diameter and larger, they require flexible couplings within 2 feet of the top and bottom of the risers. Where rigid piping is replaced with the flexible piping, the reason new hydraulic calculations are required is that flexible piping has a greater friction loss characteristic. So if the plans call for solid piping and we end up with, let's say, a construction change document switching over to flexible piping drops, that would dictate that new hydraulic calculations would have to be provided for that portion of the system. When we're talking about flexible piping systems, remember that the number of bends allowed is restricted by the manufacturer and must be verified during installation. Need to verify the clearance around all piping extending through walls, floors, platforms, and foundations, including drains, fire department connections, and other auxiliary piping in accordance with this table. The table shown on the right comes from NFPA 13, and in the left-hand column we have the nominal pipe diameter in inches and the relative hole diameter in nominal inches. So as we can see here, for 1 inch pipe would require a 3-inch nominal hole. This would allow for the minimum 1 inch clearance around all surfaces of the pipe. So pipe penetrations, here we are continuing here. On the left we have a tested assembly for a 2-hour rated through penetration stop. So just as with electrical conduits and other penetrations through rated assemblies, sprinkler piping is no exception. Where sprinkler piping passes through buildings, the required clearance must be provided per NFPA 13, as we saw in the previous slide, as well as that penetration needs to be protected by an approved assembly if that penetration is through a rated wall or ceiling.